Children's ministry is driven by the gospel. When we talk about the gospel, we're talking about the good news that Jesus Christ has provided as a way for us to be forgiven from all our wrongdoings and live eternally in the kingdom of God. In fact, the word gospel comes from an Old English term meaning good news. The gospel of Jesus Christ is the story of his life, death, resurrection, and how we respond to it. So with every Bible story we share with our kids, it's up to us to tie it back to one of these main points: his life, his death, resurrection, or how we respond to it. In children's ministry, oftentimes we focus on telling the many stories and end up missing their points. So use all of the amazing stories in the Bible that make children's ministry fun, but point them back to the bigger narrative story of Jesus' life. For example, if you're telling the story of Noah and the ark, and you got to the part of the rainbow, I want you to ask the kids why God gave Noah the rainbow. You want the kids to know that God gave us rainbows as a promise, a covenant that he would not destroy the earth with a flood again. In this way, you would teach this story the same way to a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old without lessening God's message in the story. Whatever the ages of your students, I want you to consider what kind of adults they will become. Think about the kind of memories you want them to have from their time with you in their Sunday school experience. What are some of the memories you carry with you? I want you to think about the influence you have as these children's leader. You have a beautiful opportunity to be a part of their lasting memories and the way they perceive Jesus. Really great ways to make positive memories and experiences for your children are creating rituals and traditions. It is in the repetition of customs and practices that make it memorable, as well as bringing a sense of familiar security to the child. You celebrate your own traditions like Easter and Christmas that come with their own rituals. These holidays are markers in our Christian life that we celebrate because they have special meaning and allow us to observe God's love for us. Let's say you begin your children's program with the same set of activities in the same order every time you meet. This ritual will cement this into the child's memory. Rituals are more important to kids than we as adults realize, as they provide stability and sense of safety to children. Don't underestimate the value of consistency. Can you get creative and come up with 1 or 2 rituals for your own class? It is also important to connect generations. There are many people in your core that might not be able to make a weekly commitment of teaching a class, but could provide support in other ways. Junior Soldier Prayer Partners is a great example of this. Think about individuals in your core that might be willing to pray for your kids. Talk with them about this idea and then partner up some of these older generations with the kids in the core. A prayer partner is a great way to introduce kids to those outside of your kids' ministry, and also a way for those not able to make huge commitments to have connections with the youth. Every child in your kids' ministry needs to know that God created them and loves them exactly as they are. We don't want church to be a list of rules that they must follow at all costs, but a loving and supportive community of people who are there to help them through the hardships they may experience at home or school. Kids need to know that they are loved and they belong. But they are not only loved by the people in the core building, they are also loved by God, who created them and who has a plan for their lives.